Help us or face legal action. That's the message to the government from quake-hit residents north of Rakautara. Checkpoint reported extensively on the grim predicament that 5 Rakautara homeowners have found themselves in after the 2011 earthquake. Boulders rained down from a cliff behind their houses, and the Rakautara District Council says it's still not safe to live there almost 2 years on. But the council doesn't have the money to pay out those residents, which is what they want. And now, one family has written directly to EQC Minister Megan Woods saying they will consider legal action if nothing is done. Logan Church has more.
With the 2-year anniversary of the Rakautara earthquake rapidly approaching, Rakautara landowner Joe Davidson has a simple message for the government.
As I said in my letter, do the right thing. The national government didn't do the right thing. The Labor government are now paying for that. They are being embarrassed by that. They do not want to be embarrassed by a small group of people in Rakautara or Rakautara who, will make a lot of noise if we have to.
Jo and her husband Les, as well as 4 other Rakautara landowners, are not allowed to return to their quake-damaged homes due to an unstable cliff behind them. Now, the owners of properties in Christchurch's residential red zone were paid out after the 2011 Canterbury earthquakes. That's cost the government about $1.5 billion. But red zoning is off the cards for these residents as the legislation it was done under is gone. Nevertheless, the government has given the Rakautara District Council $1.5 million to solve land hazard problems across 15 properties in the district. But you do the math. A full payout is not possible with $1.5 million. In the meantime, these quake-damaged houses in Rakautara, 20 kilometres north of Rakautara, are falling to pieces as no repairs can be made. Joe believes the government's refusal to stump up more cash is discriminatory.
I definitely think that because it's a small area that they're just ignoring us and that it is discrimination and it is unjust. And the only morally correct thing to do, and I don't really care whether that's what their legislation says or not, the only morally correct thing to do is to pay those people out and let them get on with their life. They cannot go back to their properties. That's been made very, very clear.
Joe has now sent a formal letter to EQC Minister Megan Woods asking for help. In that letter, she has made it clear that all 5 Rakautara homeowners want to be paid out, but the council, the second smallest in New Zealand, clearly doesn't have enough money to do it itself. She made it clear that legal action is also on the cards if no more help comes from the government.
We're hoping that they're going to come to the party. We're hoping that we're not going to have to get more visual and vocal. We're hoping we don't have to take legal action, but we will if we need to.
So you are considering legal action if this ends up going nowhere?
Oh yes, definitely. We're not going to be fobbed off with a third of what our properties are worth.
But that was declined. In fact, no one from the government has fronted for an interview since we started covering this issue 6 months ago, despite repeated requests to multiple ministers. But Jo says she is not going away without a fight.
Nobody's actually told me why they haven't help paid out. I think they're just being hoping that the few people that are involved will just quietly fade into the distance and not make too much of a fuss, because there's only a handful of people here rather than thousands that there were in Christchurch who could make a lot of noise. Maybe they're thinking that a small group of people are not going to make too much noise, so we'll just put it to the side. We'll park it.
Are you going to quietly fade into the dark?
No, we're not going to quietly fade into the distance.
Mō te hōtaka o te ahi nei, ko Logan Church tēnei.